Welcome all. It's 5 p.m. I think this keeps coming. That's the reason why I asked everyone to join by 4:50 p.m. Um, I don't know. I can allow another 1 minute. After which I'll not be able to allow. I'm sorry for this.
Sir, your voice is not very audible.
Yeah. I don't know why. How about now, Malvika? Better? Is this better, Malvika?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll not be able to allow anyone after this. I'm really sorry for this because I'm in the presentation mode and I can't allow. Okay. Yeah. That's the reason why I requested 4:50 p.m. Okay. Yeah. So very good evening. Thank you so much for joining. So this is a kind of an intermediate level course. So there will be 3-level course: intermediate level 1, intermediate level 2, and the advanced level course, which I'll be taking it during the next 3 months, preferably between first weeks of June and July as well. Okay. So as I could see here, this week we are going to have from May 1st till 4th. Okay. And earlier, we thought we would have it from 6:30 to 8:30, but some of you requested from 5 to 7. And after 8:30, I don't take classes because my day starts at 3 in the morning. So after 8:30, I'll not be able to take anything. So yeah. So the Python learning objective here is to introduce you all some kind of important essentials for Python, and so that you can extract features and functions that depict reinstantiation of the codes. What is reinstantiation? I'll tell you. Okay. And the course outcome is like at the end of the day you should be able to compare some kind of variables. What are the variables? How distinct are the variables? And we'll also have some kind of hands-on exercises, and we'll also be able to learn some kind of feature extraction based methods, which features or which particular variables, which particular indentation one has to employ. Okay. What kind of functions that we'll be able to take, what kind of classes for programmability that we need to take, all those kind of things we should be able to learn once this course is finished. So Malvika and Goldie, I hope my voice is audible. Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's audible.
Yeah. So if you really ask, many of you, this is a very familiar slide, which if some of you have gone through my previous talks, I usually keep this slide because, sequence predicts structure predicts function is central dogma of bioinformatics. That's because you have got the sequences where, the sequences code, thereby, you have those structures, and then finally you'll have, the function ascribed to these particular sequences. Okay. But many a time the sequences may not really fold properly. So if they are not folded properly, they become misfolded, and then obviously the function is not really known. There are certain sequences that do not make up structures at all. Those particular structures are called as disordered proteins. Okay. Those particular structures which do not maintain any orderliness, which means they do not fold at all. Obviously, if they do not fold, you don't know where the ligand or drug molecule is binding to that region, and obviously you don't have that particular thing. So if you ask me, many of these particular prediction servers, to predict the sequences or to predict the structures, to predict the functions, we only see the front end of it. Okay. But the back end is a Memothian scripture. Okay. The back end, entails a lot of, programmability. And obviously, all of us, coming from biology background, we may not really honor that kind of, time request or the kind of commitment, towards the, towards maintaining the programmability, because many of us do not really code. That is a kind of a big limitation. So, for example, if you take a genome browser like the UCSC genome browser, University of California Santa Cruz genome browser, okay, they have a very inherent, wonderful tools. But at the back end, a lot of scripts keep on going, and those scripts are nothing but the Python maker. Okay, some of them are also in a Perl maker with Perl dictionary. Okay, and there are other tools like pattern recognition tools, the normal BLAST that we see, or the University of Virginia FASTA, or BLAST-like alignment tool. Even you can even design primers and try to blast the primers and check if any of those similar primers are seen in the databases or not. Okay, so these particular things we can probably identify. Okay, using programmability approach. Okay, and then if you ask me what is that programmability approach, why is it that programming is very important? Okay, so for this you need to have imperatives and iterations. Imperative is nothing but you need to have an exact goal. What is that you need to target? What is that you need to fetch from so many sequences that are available in the databases? Okay, then if there are so many imperatives that are available, then you also need to iterate it. Iterate is repeat it. Okay, you need to maybe repeat the searches. Okay, the very famous dosa example that I always give you. Okay, so for example, now you Google dosa. Okay, Google will tell you that yes, there is a restaurant some 1 kilometer down the line. You can find dosa in a restaurant over there. But what if you Google dosa sometime in the midnight, isn't it? Sometime at 12 o'clock in the midnight. No, there may hardly be any restaurants open at that time. So it will not give you any results. So those are iterations, which means you may have to search in extracting those features or sequences iteratively, which means you need to repeat your searches, from time to time. Okay. And indentation is very, very important. Okay. Indentation is nothing but you need to know whether or not a space must be given, okay, or a comma must be given, an expression must be given, or a semicolon must be given. Okay, that kind of things play a very important role in programming as well. Okay, and these are also surrounded by methods and types, which probably Manjari might have explained you. Okay, the methods and types also play a very, very important role. Most importantly, the reinstantiation of the course. Okay, reinstantiation is the word itself tells you re-instance, which means you have written some program, okay, say in some old language like C, okay, or C++. Can you probably use that particular or peruse that particular code in C++, or maybe Perl, maybe Python, Ruby, PI? Okay, different languages are there. So can you probably reuse those particular codes and ensure that code can be rewrapped, okay, or maybe rewritten? Okay, that is what we call it as reinstantiation of the codes. Okay, and next important thing is MIABI guidelines. MIABI is minimum information about bioinformatics investigation. Okay, this is a wonderful guidelines that is initiated by Shobha Ranganathan and Asif M. Khan and Tan Tendi, who are professors in Singapore University and Macquarie University in Australia. So what they say there is that you need to have some minimum knowledge in order to fetch certain records from the database. Okay, that information, if it is there, then you'll be able to fetch some other records very easily as well. And then you can upscale it. Even if a program is written in C program or C++, you can probably rewrite those particular codes in Python dictionary or Swift or Ruby or Py or Perl or whatever. Okay, so this is a typical, prelude, to Python. So, so if you may ask me, the what's and the who's of Python. Python was conceptualized in the late 1980s, to be precise, in 1987. Okay, by Guido van Rossum. Okay, he was a wonderful math interpreter. Okay, in Netherlands. That was how he developed this Python dictionary. Okay, At that time, he was working on Fortran. Fortran is formula translation, which was a well-known language at that point of time. Okay, and this at that time, he was developing some suites for ABC programming code, ABC Zelda programming code. Okay, and he got inspiration by a project called Settle, okay, SCTL, and this particular project, needed, some programming logic, to find certain exceptions, okay, to find certain entries into the database. It has to fetch certain entries into the database, okay, and that is the reason, why, Guido van Rossum, he developed this, program, okay, and then he used, something called Amoeba operating system at that point of time. There was some operating systems that came up, DOS, disk operating system, Windows, okay. Disk operating system is nothing but from Microsoft, okay. Amoeba operating system was some company called Settle again, okay, which started this Amoeba operating system, okay. And then you might ask me a question, why programming? Can't we just, do without programming? Is there a need for programming? Okay. So if you have a programming knowledge, you can probably ask certain unasked questions. Okay. You can try to solve the correct problems. You can have enough data. Okay. And then, you can probably try to fetch those particular records to your intuitive goals. Okay. You can have, programming languages written across different things like C, C++, R, and Python, or whatever. Okay. You can have, what do you call, many libraries as well. Okay. Different libraries, can also be used. You can even write, like in R, you had an IDE, right? Integrated development environment, where you could write the codes, and when you click run the code, then you get the output. Okay. Likewise, different libraries like scikit, ptorch, okay, TensorFlow and Keras, these are the different libraries, one can use. These comes under advanced, Python dictionary, which we will learn once you clear the 2-level, Python phases. And the data ingestion is very important. Data ingestion is, you may have to catapult all this particular data, and then you have to fetch, which data is very important. Okay, that is, taking up the program. Okay, and if you ask me, what is the rationale behind this thing? I think the most important thing, stems from dynamic programming. Okay, assuming that you're all biologists, I'll take one classical example. I think you know what is the difference between a global alignment and local alignment. Say, for example, this is what I usually give, a classical example. Okay, MDKST, Prash, Trash, and Crash is one coding sequence. Okay, and let's assume in a global alignment, you need to get the exact hit like this, isn't it? Then only the sequence is aligned. It is end to end. Okay. But in the database, you might get certain sequences like this. Okay. You might have certain sequences like this. You might even have sequences, okay, like this, or even like this. Okay. And then you see, you need to connect these particular dots because the alignments are different, isn't it? So this is one string, this is another string, and another string. Then this, if you connect these particular dots, then your complete sequence, you will get it. And how do you fetch this sequence, these strings? Okay, how do you fetch these strings? But instead of trash, maybe you may have to take this mgkst prash, and then tr, ash, okay, and crash, and then this can be avoided. Okay, then how do you fetch this? Okay, so these hits are called as the local alignment, which means small bits and pieces of any sequence that you're trying to search. Okay, in any of those particular string matches, these are called as the locally aligned sequences. In a globally aligned sequences, you have the entire hits from end to end, like mgkst prash, crash, and crash. Okay, so which means you'll get the entire hit that is available in the database. Okay, is this clear, dear friends? Any questions until here? This is a very important aspect. Please feel free to stop me. Okay,
Okay, sir.
Any questions, please? Yeah.
Clear, sir. Clear.
Okay. So now comes a very important thing. So now you can be able to get these particular sequences, right? Okay, these particular sequences, you can find it. Okay. So now, when you have such sequences, this is what we meant by the global alignment and local alignment, and this is what in a dynamic programming does. But in a dynamic programming, what happens is the sequence strings that you are trying to search, it not only finds those hits, it will also go back. Okay, it will also search from the last few letters. So in this case here, as you could see here, okay, so here you could see ASH. So first it will search ASH, and then maybe CR, then Trash, then Prash, then MGKST. So this is what we call it as a dynamic programming. So in a dynamic programming, you'll also search from the reverse as well, so as to make a perfect iteration, perfect searches. Okay, so such quick decisions are very, very important. Okay, and that is where the Python programming can recognize patterns or strings in the database. Okay, not only the patterns and strings, it will also allow you to identify whether or not any specific patterns that you're trying to search has got patterns that are matching with the previous database as well. Okay, so that you can directly take those particular patterns, and then you can get the exact matches for those particular sequences, and then you can predict the structure, and then you can predict the function. Okay, this applies for every algorithm. This applies for every bioinformatics based algorithms. So then you might ask me a question, okay, Prash, why Python? Okay, why do you think that the Python needs a very important role? Okay, Python can also be done without. And we can also do the programming without Python as well. We can also use Perl. We can also use C. We can also use C++. Okay. In fact, Python dictionary is a simple dictionary word. It's just like the words that we have written. Okay, which I'll tell you. We'll start our first coding today, and we'll learn that. Okay. I'll also tell you what is the difference between the previous codes, previous programming codes, and the Python codes. Okay. So it is easier, it is achievable, it is reliable. Okay, and the most important thing is, when you write the program, it uses very simple codes. Okay, and most importantly is the reinstantiation. I told you what is reinstantiation. Okay, reinstantiation is you go back and see from your earlier codes. So if the program is written in C or C++, if you can reinstantiate that particular code and try to come up with another, Python code. Okay, so Python makes a reinstantiation very easy, which means you can take the Perl code or C code or C++ or a Java code and try to simply write that particular thing in a Python dictionary. Okay. So that is where the Python plays a very, very important role. Okay. This is also another example. So for example, here, Needleman-Wunsch algorithm, I told you, in a Needleman-Wunsch algorithm, it's a global alignment, which means you are searching end-to-end searches, which means here, like this, it's an end-to-end search, isn't it? MGKST, Prash, Trash, Crash, you have the exact hit here. So this algorithm is pronounced by something called Needleman-Wunsch algorithm. Okay, and this is a global alignment. Okay. Whereas these are all small strings, small sub searches, right? So this is a Smith-Waterman algorithm, and this is attributing to local alignment, which means you can search, small strings like this and get it done. So in a Needleman-Wunsch algorithm, you get the hits from end to end, whereas in Smith-Waterman algorithm, you get sub strings or subsequences of these particular hits. Okay. So this is only for an example. There are several dynamic programming based approaches, which I need not tell you. Don't worry, there are a lot of maths involved in this, but I'm just trying to tell you where and how these particular programming languages are applied. Okay, how these particular algorithms can really play a very important role. Okay, like in a kind of a Goto algorithm, like a Gregorish algorithm, Nussino algorithm, okay, which is used for RNA folding. Several other algorithms are employed, for different purposes. Okay. And many of you, since you're all biologists, or at least you have had some basic bioinformatics, you have known what is BLAST, right? BLAST is a basic local alignment search tool, which means you're trying to search sequences, right? So if you see, when you search these particular sequences, there is something called a longest common subsequence, which means here in the classical example that I was trying to tell you, okay? So which sequence can really make a perfect sequence like this? Which sequences? The best is this, isn't it? Because MGKST, Prash, Trash, and Crash are there. But if you take this, and again this, you will have more strings, which means there will be more weightage, okay? Maybe it may take, more time, isn't it? But the best is this. If you have an exact hit like this in the database, that would have been, wonderful. Okay, that would have been, more wonderful, looking into those particular sequences. Okay. So this is where you can probably look into these particular searches or hits. Okay. So a classical Python example, the longest common subsequence was made. And several other algorithms, like Blossom, block substituted matrix, and other things are known, which I'll tell you, at a later point of time. Okay, so don't worry about this. So I think we should start making the first codes right now. But in order to make the first codes, I think assuming that all of you have downloaded Ubuntu, okay, or you might have at least have Windows, okay. Into your system, okay. If you have used Windows, you might have installed Python. Even that also, plays a plays a very important role. That's also fine, okay. So don't worry about that. I'll tell you, a more definitive way of, taking the programming, okay. How I learned really the programming in the hardest way. So in hardest way, you can probably look into those sequences. Give me a minute, please. Okay. So, so what I'll do is I'll probably tell you how to do this. Okay. This is a terminal. This is Ubuntu. If you open this, you'll get a terminal. Okay. Maybe I'll start from scratch. Okay. That will be probably easy. So you click this, open new terminal if you are in a Linux. Okay. I'll probably increase the font so that you can see it very clearly. Okay. So this is what we call it as a terminal. When you use Windows also, you can use a terminal as well. So as I told you, the intermediate level will start typing the codes rather simply copy pasting the codes, which is the case with other courses. Okay, so if you take up other courses elsewhere, you are probably asked to copy paste the codes and run the program and all those kind of things. But we'll start right from scratch. Okay, this is what I thought we'll be able to do this. So when you are here, these are all simple codes in a Linux environment. You can start this. If you are in a Windows, you can also use the same terminal, but in Windows, in order to change the directory or move to the directory, you use different what you call indents. Use reverse slash in Windows. Okay, but you can also write the code in a simplest notepad like this. Okay, first let me write the code, and I can tell you. Okay, I'm just giving you an example here. Let me take up the new sequence. Usually, when you have a sequence like this, when you have a file like this, okay, what used to happen during the earlier days is when the C programming used to exist, okay, people used to define libraries first, okay. So those libraries have something like this, okay. There is something called include statements, okay. These are all what we call the libraries. I'll tell you what are these. So a programming code, once you start with this, you are trying to tell the program that you are trying to start the program. So fetch these particular standard input and output. stdio is standard input and output headers or libraries. Okay. Math is math headers. If you want to simply perform simplest mathematical equations, okay, you needed to define this precisely. Okay, like this. Include include stdio.h, which is standard input.header, math.header, standard input.library. And then you start writing the code. Okay, it means once you define these particular codes, okay, these particular lines, then only the program will take up the C program. Okay, it will only start the C program. And then you come and say that, yes, now what is that you need to do? Now make up a simplest, you need to first define the variables. Okay, so for example, we start with integer x and give something like a semicolon. Okay, so an integer x is a variable. Okay, and then you want to give something called float, say y. Okay, and then you give a command called say print. Okay, and then give in parentheses, okay, x, something like this, okay, and give this. So this is the simplest, sorry, not flat, float. So your float is nothing but decimals. Okay, you can use y is equal to 5.5 or whatever. Okay, and then the program will tell what is that x, what is that y, and then only you'll be able to print those particular programs. This used to be the long codes, which means here you need to define the libraries, okay, which means the libraries need to be defined so that the C program or C++ program can be invoked. Okay, then you need to define the variables. Variables are x and y, and then you type the types of these particular variables. Integer x, which means you can only give in x only numbers. Okay, -1 to maybe +1. I mean all the negative numbers to positive numbers. Or in float, as I told you, float you can have decimals. Okay, y can be 5.5 or 5.25. Okay, all those kind of things. And then you ask the program to define this. Okay, and what do? You save this particular program. Okay, and then I'm sitting in my folder called prog here. Okay, something like this. Okay, and then I give it as example.c. Okay, in all files, it should be all files. Okay, or you can, if it is a C++ program, you need to save it as C. Okay, I'm simply taking it as C. And now you open the terminal where that particular folder is. Okay, 1 minute. I have these. ls -lat is list files. Okay, and I've got this particular program. And now, in order to see the contents of this particular file, I can again open it like this. Or in Linux terminal, I can type cat test.c. Or sorry, cat. There's another example I've taken here. Cat example.c. You see here. So here I've included the headers, standard input.output. I've also included math.h. I've also included libraries. Okay, I've included x. I've included y. Okay, and then I could probably use print of x. Okay, which means I'll get x. This used to be a very lengthy problem. And then if for example, if the program doesn't, if in your computer these libraries are not installed, then this program will not work. Okay. And not only that, it's not only just writing the program, but you have to first compile it. Compile is, kickstart it. It's just like, kickstarting your scooter. Okay. So that, you can increase the accelerator. And for that, you need to have a compiler. Okay, now no one is using C or C++. Okay, so there are different compilers. Different compilers start with CC, and give an example like this. Okay. In fact, CC is not there. We don't have compilers these days. Okay, there is no GCC as well. Okay, these are all the compilers. Those compilers need to be installed. These headers must be there. Then only the program will run. Okay. This used to be a very Herculean process. This particular process would take a lot of time, where you cannot really spend time installing all these particular tools, and the program will run very slow. Okay. Is this clear until here, friends? I don't mind.
No, sir. Could you explain again, sir? Sir, how you logged in? How you actually brought up the documents?
This is Ubuntu. I mean, assuming that you all have Ubuntu, you can click terminal here. Okay, you can open the terminal like this in a new window. Then you will get a terminal window like this. Okay, how many of you are using Ubuntu and how many of you are using Linux? I mean Windows.
Sir, I'm using the virtual one, the VM.
Yeah, it's okay. Even in virtual one, you can open the terminal like this. Okay, and you can you open it file like this. Okay, and write it.
Sir,
like
how to open the file? This test editor file.
Yeah, you can open it, right? You can use a WordPad or a Notepad, and you have to set that particular path. Okay, I'll tell you. Don't worry about that. I'll tell you how to do that, and maybe you can share the screen at a later point of time. But did you understand this particular concept? Why we are writing a code like this? Yes, everyone. In C programming, this used to be the code. This used to be a very big problem. Okay, which means you have to define what are these. Then only that particular functions will come up. Then only integer x can be defined from mat.h library. Okay, then only it will print, because it's a standard output. So the library commands will only invoke from this particular dictionary. Okay, this used to be very, very Herculean, very, very cumbersome problem. Okay, you need not by heart this, because we are not doing C here. I'm just trying to tell you what are the fallacies of C programming. Okay.
Sir, do we have to make a folder like you made here press.prog?
Yeah. No, yeah, you can also create a folder. Okay, and then you can do that. Yeah, that's a good way to start. Okay. Likewise, you can also write a program called test.pl. I've given test.pl here. Okay, PL is a Perl program. I'll tell you the problem with the Perl. Okay, I hope you all can see the screen, right? Yeah. You all can see the screen, everyone? Did I?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah, it's here. So here for Perl programming, this came up bit lesser. As you could see here, standard input.header, mat.h. This need not be defined for Perl. You simply give something called user bin Perl, which means in a Linux like this, when I type which Perl, okay, which means where is my Perl program allocated. So it tells me that this is in this particular path in a folder called user bin Perl. Okay, this is what my Perl program is. So this is what I'm simply defining it. And please bear it in mind, in any programming language, if you start anything with ash, okay, that indicates that it is a comment. Okay, and here in Perl programming, it's again a very cumbersome process. You need to start with use something like strict, which means you are asking the program to invoke strict commands. Even if there is a slightest comma, okay, the program will not run. Okay, and use warnings in the sense, you see, warnings in the sense, give me some warnings if I make an error in the program. Okay, it's as simple as that. So these commands should be invoked in Perl, then only you can define what is this. Okay, so here some of you might have used defining the variables in R you might have defined it. So here, say for example, I'm defining a variable called test, okay, using a dollar symbol. Okay, my test is equal to 43, and I'm ending my my line with semicolon. Always in Perl, in C and C++, you end the program with semicolon. Okay, and then you type print my age is $test. What is $test? $test is nothing but 43. Okay, and you end up, you save the program in a notepad as .pl. .pl is Perl. So in order to run that particular program, you simply type Perl and file name. Okay, and when I type that, I would get my age is 43. But now let's open that particular file name. Okay. Okay, and I am editing it. Okay. So for example, I make a small error here. I don't give test here. I mean dollar as a variable. Okay, and save it. Okay. And now if I run this Perl test.pl, you see it gives me an error. Okay. No such class test.pl, it gives an error. Okay. And it tells you that this is what. Okay. Which means you have done a small mistake because you didn't define the variable. That defined variable is dollar. Okay. $test. Then only it is printing this $test. My age is test. /n is new line, which means print in new line. You can also print in tab with a tab space like this with /t. Okay, and save it. Now you run the program again. Perl test.pl. You see the space is there. I got a space at the new tab here. Okay, somewhere here. My age is 40. Okay. So this used to be the thing, which means in your program in Perl, if your variables like this are not defined with $sign, okay, then probably you will not be able to invoke your program. Okay, is this clear? So now you have two programs here. I'm just typing those two programs. One is example.c, okay, and test.pl, which is a Perl program. These are the two different programs. One is in a C program, the other one is Perl program. And you see, this was a big task like this, okay? Which means in order to start a program, first you need to define libraries and headers, then define the variables, integer x, float y, and this. But here, you can directly invoke the variables like this. You can even say that my x is equal to my $x is equal to 43. Okay, so for example, here I can say that my $x is equal to 43. Okay, and save it. And now when you type Perl test.pl, okay, it says that my age is 43. Okay. So variables can be defined in any way. That is not a problem. Okay, but writing these long codes is a very, very Herculean task. Again, if you use strict, use warnings, okay, and it will tell you warnings like this if there is any error in your particular program. Okay, these particular things, are very, challenging and very, problematic thing in any kind of defining any kind of math logic. Okay, and the problem with C is, as I told you, you need to have a compiler and then run the program. In Perl, you need not have a compiler. You can simply type Perl test.pl, but your variables should always be defined with $sign. Okay, which means your lines of programs will be increasing from time to time. Is this clear, dear friends, until here? Class, can I get yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now comes, we have learned, a simplest code in C. We have learned a simplest, fallacies or limitations in Perl. Okay. Now we'll move to, Python. What makes, Python dictionary very easy? Okay. Don't worry about this command that I'm typing. You can use the simplest notepad here. Okay. In Ubuntu, I'm typing ls-lrth, which is list all the files. Okay. Like this. Okay. So let's type a simplest program here. Okay. I'll take a new file here. Take a new file here. file, sorry, there is a new file. Yeah, I think file, new window. Okay. And I simply want to type, okay, hello, I'm Prash in Python world. Okay. And simply close it with parentheses. Okay. Now you see, I want to save this particular file. File save as in my folder documents, Prash, progress programming. Okay. I'm giving it as an example dot Python script should be with py. Okay, not pl. Okay, simply save it with all caps. Okay, and when you come to the terminal, you see that file is created example.py. Okay, you can see the contents of it example.py. Okay, so this is what your cat is concatenate or view. What is the contents of that particular file? Okay. Now, how do you invoke Python? Python is very important. So how do you know whether or not Python is there in Ubuntu or not? You can type which Python. Okay. The Python version is Python 3. That is the reason why I need to type which Python 3. It tells me that my Python is put up in Ubuntu. Whenever you install Ubuntu, by default, Python is installed. Okay. Because many codes are written in Ubuntu using Python. Okay. User bin Python 3. Okay. Now you can also type a previous version as well, Python 2, I think. Yeah, Python 2 is also there. If you want to know the version of this particular thing, you can type, say, Python 3 version. Okay. Python 3 dash dash version, it will tell you what is the Python version. Python 3.10.6, which is version 3 with sub indices 10 and 6. Okay, even in Windows also, you can also type the same thing, Python 3 dash dash version. It will tell you what is the Python version. Okay. Now you have written a simple command. Okay, simple script like this, example.py. Okay, I've written print, hello, I'm Prash in Python world. Okay, something like this. In order to invoke this, you can use Python 3. Okay, and then give that particular file name, example.py. Okay, and then I think you can give in these brackets as well, because the latest commands work like this. Okay, I'm sorry. And then you can give that particular Python 3 example.py. And then it will you see the program, hello, I'm Prash in Python world. Okay, this is what it is printing. Okay, now I can even change the code. Say, for example, I want in a new line, I can type this. Okay, suppose I want to type something extra. Okay, suppose I want, I'm taking Python codes, something like this. Huh? It's in a new line, but I want to start with a new tab as well, like this. Okay. /t is new tab space. Okay. And simply save it. And then now run that particular command again. And we'll see it will give you, hello, I'm Prash in Python world. Hello, I'm taking Python course. You see this tab space is there. Okay. And there's also a space here in the second line. You see there's a second line space because we have given here /n, okay, which means new line. Given a new line after that. And even I can even take it this /t or this like this as well. In between as well. Okay, save it. When you run the command now, I'm Prash will come in new line. Okay, I mean with a new space. Okay, and in Python world there is a space now because I've given /t. Instead of /t, I can give /n as well. Okay, so now I'm getting new line. Is this clear, your friends?
Sir, could you show again how to actually open the files?
Yeah,
Like
you can
when
just
I'm
open.
typing, it's not showing documents. This.
No, you have installed a virtual Ubuntu interface in Windows, right?
Yes, sir.
Now you can open any notepad, okay, and run the program like this, or create a program like this. So, create a program like this, print, okay, in brackets like this. Write this in any notepad, all of you. Please open your, um, notepad. First, type this, all of you. I'm just doing this. You can type this, okay? Hello, I'm Prash in Python world. Okay. Yes, it's in command line. Those who are using, how many of you are using Windows? Can someone tell me any Windows installations here? Okay. You can in Windows also, you can do that. Okay. Maybe I want all of you to, one of you to share the screen. I can help you so that others can follow that. I'm sorry, I don't use Windows here. I use Ubuntu. Others, please. Anyone can want to share a Windows machine so that I can how it works. Yes, please. Yeah. You can share the screen. Yeah. You must be having text editors. If you have a normal notepad like this, you must be having text editors like this. Please start doing that. Hello, class. Can you hear me, please? Yeah.
Hello. Yes, sir. I'm hearing you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Others, please. Others, can you please, share? One of you can share the Windows screen so that I can help you, please. Yeah.
So text document and text editor are same.
Yeah. So you're using Windows, is it, Cash?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can share the screen if you want. I can help you with
Sure,
this.
sir. Sure, sure.
So there's only one Windows user, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now open a notepad file.
So this is notepad file.
All of you, please follow this. Yeah. 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 You have opened a notepad file. Now you type that command, print, brackets.
Yes.
You can copy paste it if you want, but I suggest you
Yes.
type it.
Just to save the time, I'm just copying it now.
Yeah. And now file save as.
File
Save as. Yeah.
save as.
Here all files. No, don't click text documents here. Down.
Okay.
Down, not text document. Save as all files. Yeah. All files.
All files.
Give the file name as hello.pl. Hello.py. Sorry. Hello.py.
Py.
Yes. And click save.
We're saving it on desktop now.
Yes. Now you open your terminal. What do you call in Windows? You have the terminal as well.
Sir, for that I need to type.
Command prompt.
No, command line.
CMD.
Yeah.
Just type CMD.
Yeah. CMD. You can type CMD. Yeah. That command prompt. Yeah. Now we go to desktop. Is Python installed in your computer?
No, sir.
Oh, you have to install Python, Cache. I told you, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. But I think Python should be installed via I think Microsoft this store, Microsoft Store, no?
Yeah, I think you have to download that. Anyone has any installed Python in
Sir,
Windows?
I have the link for Python. Should I share it in the chat?
Yeah, please. No, I think he has not installed it. Cache has not installed it. Yeah. Kavya, you can use VI as well, VI editor as well, to write the codes. Yeah. How about other Windows users? Other Windows users may want to share the screen. I can help you with the command line.
Cache, maybe you can check what if it is existed or not, like Python -hyphen version.
Yeah. You
Yes.
should be able to
So
do that. Yeah.
I'm just installing it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just
Others, I mean, Pranav, you use Linux, is it? You use Ubuntu?
I have both, sir. I have WSL, like command line as well as Windows.
Okay, can you just
If you
share
want,
the
I can
screen?
share. Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, please share it. Cash, please stop sharing the screen. Yeah.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Pranav, you can share the screen and you can save the file as .py. You know that, right?
Oh, can you hear me? Sorry, can you see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I have a folder created actually already. So
Right,
just another example.
right.
So what Windows users can do is they just go new
Yeah,
and then they can just create a text document. So if in case there is nothing available, then you can type usually hello or whatever you want. And when you save it, you need to save it as all documents. Like let's say hello.py. So this is how you save it. And this should print hello. Maybe if you want something extra, you can do slash Python, something like that. So to run this code, you need two things. Like say I'm having both WSL, Windows Subsystem Linux. Also, I have Python installed in Windows. So I will be having two things to show you. So this is, I'll close this one. So when you just want to open command prompt, you can just type run. That is like shortcut is Windows R CMD. So it will open you the terminal in case of Windows users. And it will be by default for your user space. Like mine is BioPR. So if you are saving in another drive, you have to switch the drive because mine is in E drive now. So I have to switch to E drive. So I'm switching to E. So it is switched to E. My folder is like Python programming. So here, similar to LS in Windows, you can use dir. So which will list you all the directory elements, like the content of your folder basically. So I will just take this up. And to clear this, you can use CLS. So it will clear up. So here, my folder name is Python programming. So I have Python course. So this is the one. And if I give dir, I have two files. One is hello.py, another one is test.py. So to check Python, as sir said, you can use hyphen version. So it should tell you which version of Python you have. And to run the program, you can just use Python and then hello. So it should print you the output.
yeah.
So if you're using,
Perfect, Pranav. So please keep that screen like that.
yes,
So friends, this is how you need to run the codes in Windows. Okay. So you can open a text pad, first write the first code. Okay. Then save the particular file as filename.py. Okay. And go to that particular path using command line in Windows. Okay. And write the program, that particular line as Python, that filename.py, so that you can execute the command. Okay. Will you all please do this for the next 5 minutes? I'm going to give you just only 5 minutes, all of you. In Linux, you can even use a VI editor as well. If you have Linux users, you can use a VI editor like this. Sorry, I didn't share the screen. I'm sorry, 1 minute.
oh, here it is, sir, like similar one. Yeah.
I'm sharing the screen, 1 minute.
Okay, sir.
So you can use a VI editor. VI is a Vim editor. Okay, so I can type file.py directly. Okay, and then press insert. I can type something like hello print. Okay, then I type hello. Okay, namaste. Okay. Something like this, and then end it. Okay, and then save it by pressing escape::WQ. W is write and Q is quit. Okay, And now you type Python 3 file.py. Sorry, did I give something wrong? 1 minute.
Quotes, sir.
Sorry. Okay. I didn't give quotations, right? I'm sorry, huh? Something like this, huh? Something like this. And then save it :WQ and type that particular file. Okay. And then you can save it. So this is your first code in Linux Ubuntu if you are using Ubuntu. If you are using Windows, you have to go to that particular notepad first, create the first algorithm, okay? Then save it and then run the command using command line, okay? So please do this for the next 5 minutes, okay? And then we'll get into the next few hiccups that we are going to have. Okay? You can share the screen if you are facing any problems. All of you, please do this. Huh?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I need to share the screen.
Yeah. Did you install Python?
I just want to show that, I mean, which version should I install?
No, you can install any version. The latest version you can install cache.
But actually, there are more than two things to download. I think Python Windows installer or embedded package, something like that, for 64-bit. So I'm just sharing the screen.
No, you need not. Yeah, I mean, you can need not click that pre-release. You can do the other one. Yeah, embedded one. Yeah. That takes a lot
Am I
of that.
visible, sir?
Already is a connection cache.
Am I visible, sir?
Yeah. You can download that. Yeah, Windows installer. Download Windows
Installer.
This is 64-bit, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can do that.
Not embedded package.
No.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
How about others? Arushi, Goldie, Nihal, Malvika, Arpan, Dheeraj. Oh, yeah, good. Please do that
Sir,
one.
sir, could you show once again how to open Perl files?
Uh,
Perl files.
Word files. Yeah.
Perl, P-E-R-L,
Yeah,
Perl.
don't worry about Perl now, Nihal. Simply it's a
Okay, sir.
Python one. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Simply create a notepad file and simply type that. I mean, I've given you a Perl example because in Perl, you needed to do that much, double task. Whereas in Python, you need not. Okay. That is reason why I've given you an example of C, C++, and Perl programs first. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, Unnati, it is, yeah. Escape :WQ. W is right, Q is quit. In case of, in case of will, yeah. Abhirami, Abhilashni, Amrita, are you all doing it? Yeah. Anish, Anjali, Annie, Anthony, Anupama, Arnab, Arpan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. I'm just spelling the names now, if you're all doing it or not. Diksha, Atulya, Dhruti, Darul, Diktanshu, Durga Dheeraj, Ishan, Kavya, Kirtana, Kiran, okay, good, Krishna, Kritika, Kritika, Lakshmi, Panchali, Parag, Pallavi, Pooja, Prajita, Praneeth, Prapti, Preet, Roshan, Shristi, Shangamitra, Shravya, Gokila, Sri Vaishnavi, Shristi and Unati. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Yeah. I think it shouldn't take more than another 2 minutes. Then I'll go to the next step. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Sir, Manjari ma'am told us about Swirl that teaches us how to do R. Is there something like that that teaches us Python in the terminal?
Sorry, Nihal, I didn't get you the last sentence. Yeah.
Manjari ma'am told us about Swirl. It
Yes,
teaches
good.
us how to do
Yeah.
R in the terminal. But
Right.
is there
Right.
something like that for Python also?
Yeah, there is also, but that comes in the advanced level. I didn't want to tell you. There are certain integrated, environments where you can simply type the code and it will tell you whether or not the code is correct or not. Okay, but that will not give you the programming logic. You need to learning your own codes first. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so that is the reason why I'm taking up this kind of an environment as a very basic level. For the next 4 days.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So I'll get started in another 2 minutes. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I've installed the Python.
Okay. Very good. And please try that cache.
Sir, what should I write in this now?
Yeah.
I'm just sharing the screen for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So the command is copied and saved in a text file. PY file already.
Yeah. Now you go to desktop. Create that particular file that you have created. Yeah.
So how to go to desktop?
CD. I think you type PWD, not PWD. DAR. Sorry. This is a Windows DAR. Type DAR.
DAR.
Yeah. Enter.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a desktop here somewhere? Yeah. CD desktop. CD space desktop.
CD
Not
space
I think CHDAR, sorry. Windows I've never
CHDAR.
used, it's been almost 25 years I used Windows, CHDAR. CH, no space, I think.
No, sir, it's CD only.
It's CD only, sir.
CD only, or I'm
CD
sorry.
Yes,
desktop.
yes.
Yeah, CD space, yeah, desktop.
DAR.
No, just
No, no,
CD space the
yeah,
desktop.
yeah,
Space
space desktop, yeah.
Okay.
SK.
No, D is
I
capital.
spelled wrong.
Sorry.
Yes.
Now you see that type again DAR, that file must be there. Enter.
Enter. Okay.
So Python, yeah, Python is there. Now you type Python space hello.py. No, spelling is wrong, Prash.
Python space.
Yeah, hello.py. All others, could you all run the program? Everyone? I think
Yes,
Python
sir.
is not installed, Cache. Please check that. Huh? You need to, it should be inbuilt, it should be executable somewhere. Okay?
So,
I think it's not installed. You please try to do that.
have I written it correctly? Python
No,
space
which is
hello.py.
I think it is not executable. The Python dictionary is not executable in your computer. It's not installed
Okay.
properly.
Okay. Sir.
Please check that. How about others? Everyone could run this. All of you, please. Can I get yes from all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we'll just go to the quick next steps. Okay. Yeah. Let's not waste time. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I'm just sharing the screen again. So class, the most important thing here is when you type, say, example, something like this. Okay, I'm giving an example here. Okay, so you write like this. Okay, you press insert, then your vim editor will come here. Okay, with an insert here at the base. This is for Linux environment. Okay, then you type. Okay, there is a mayday. Okay, and then I'm giving a new line. Okay, something like this. Not Python, sorry, print. And now, say for example, I can even say something like this. I can even add some extra parameters. Okay. Say if is a statement. Okay. Say for example, if today is May 1st, okay, and send print. Okay. Today is May, something like this. Okay. So this is how I'm just saving it. Okay. And then I can see whether or not my code is correct or not by typing cat. Cat is less view. Cat is simply nothing but view. Okay. And I can run the program by typing that Python 2 or Python 3, whichever code is there. Okay. I think the space. Yeah, I didn't give that quotation. 1 minute. So if 1 minute. Sorry, what is this? I gave the space here. 2.py is not printed. I'm sorry. I'm copying in the wrong direction. 1 minute. Yeah. 1 minute. Now let's assume that I'm really sorry. I don't know what's happening here. Did I give the space here? It's fine.
/n should be inside the code, sir.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So now I'm running this. Okay, and I got it. And now you see, if I were to make an if statement here, okay, so I can use if today were May Day, something like this, okay, then print this. But this if statements, all these particular if statements should always be in small letters. If, else, or all in small letters in Python dictionary, okay, then only it will probably print it. But these particular logic will come later. Now, do you remember the command that we were trying to use for Perl? Okay, let me save this first. Do you remember this particular, what was the command name that we have given for Perl? Test.pl. Okay. You see here, we needed to define the variables. My $x is equal to 43, right? Print my age is $x. So which means I'm trying to print that particular strict and warnings here, taking the Perl dictionary here. But in Python, you need not employ all these kind of things. In Python, it's absolutely very, very simple. Okay. So you take this vi example.py. Okay. So for example, here you can say x is equal to say 5. Okay. And then say y is equal to 4.5. Okay. Now simply try print. Okay. So what is x? Okay. Like this print. So what is y? Okay. So in Python, what happens is when you type such kind of indentation with variables, okay. So this is what I've done actually. Basically, when you have a program with x defined as an integer 5, y defined as 4.5 as a float, okay? Print of x is nothing but in double quotation, which means you're printing only the letter, what is written here, what is typed here, just like, today is May Day, what we have written there, okay? But here, if I were to print, okay, see, now I'm running the program. If I were to print, what is print x? What is print x? What is print x? It is 5. What is y? That is 4.5. Okay. So if you see the program here, see, if I give it in quotations, I'll get what is written in that. And if I don't give the quotations, these variables have already been defined. X and y have already been defined. Okay. This is what, Python makes you very easy. Whereas in Perl, you needed to define int x or say float y and all those kind of things. Okay. Now we know that x is an integer, y is a float because it is with decimals. But how do you know? How do you extract feature that these particular decimals are known? These decimals are well known. Okay. So for this, you can do another thing. Okay. You can type like this. So you want to know what is that particular thing. So now run the particular program again. Okay. Now you see, I've run the program Python 3 example 2.py. And what is the code? If you remember, I'm typing the code here. Okay. I wanted to type what is x. So what is type x? X is a class integer. Okay. Which means you're defining a variable called integer here. Likewise, if you want to change the code, you can also type okay. Now run the program. So we know that it is float. So this is how you can probably define different variables and different classes as well. So we'll learn about different classes eventually, but sometimes you may have to define certain specifics as well. Say for example, here, okay.
Sir, from VI, how do you go back?
Escape WQ, escape colon WQ. You see, I'm typing it. If you can see it here, Nihal, down.
Okay.
It says you have to press escape and then colon, okay? And then W is right, Q is quit. And you will not give exclamatory mark, like changing forcing and forcing it. Okay? This is how it works. Okay? And now you see what has happened now. I have given, okay? I've given in the program x is equal to 5, y is equal to 4.5. So I'm printing what is the class type called x that has been defined already. X is 5. And what is the class type for y? Print type y. And I want to say that print of x plus y, which means 5 plus 4.5. Okay. And my answer that I got is 9.5. Okay. So likewise, you can use different things as well. Okay. X into y, x minus y, or xwy, x by y, or whatever. Okay. All these particular things now you can probably do it when you run this particular program. Is this clear, dear friends? All of you? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to run this particular simple code of defining classes in the meantime? I will give you another 5 minutes, all of you. Okay. Yeah, please do that. I'm online. Yeah. How many of you are Ubuntu users? I'm a bit curious. How many of you are Ubuntu users? Please, Kiran, please raise, please answer your question. Yeah. Oh, you have just, raised your hand. Okay. Oh, for this. Oh, you need not, yeah. Okay. I don't know. How do I know so many users have raised your hands? Okay. Oh, only 4 are Ubuntu users, unfortunately. 5 now. Okay. Anyways, huh? Oh, now it's increasing. Okay. Good. Oh, many are Ubuntu users. That's fine. Okay. If you're Ubuntu users, your code, is very easy. Okay. Your code, makes very, very fast. Okay. Good. A good number of Ubuntu users. Yeah, it's increasing. Okay. If you're using Windows, I think, that is what, Pranav has shown you. You can probably use that. Okay. Yeah, many of you have, I can see, you have installed Ubuntu. That's fine. Yeah, please run that particular code, please. I'll give you another 4 minutes to finish that. So we have learned about defining the variables, right? Yeah. So class, are you done with this? Can we just go to the next step, please? Yeah. Let's save some time. Yeah. Okay. So now let's come back to some more basics. Okay. Now I'm in Linux. Now I can take another thing as well. I can even copy it, but I don't want to overwhelm you with this. But I'm taking example 3.py now. Okay. So I can say that x is equal to 5. Sorry, I don't know why it's not coming. Yeah. X is equal to say 5. Okay. So y equal to say Prash. Okay. I can even type a string like this. Okay. So print say y, print say x plus 2. Okay, something like this. So now what I have really done here is I'm just showing you that example here, which means I've typed something like x is equal to 5. Okay, and I've defined a string called Prash here. Okay, so it means if you are defining a string, you have to type in quotations here. Okay, and please understand that if you're typing this like this, even a single quotations is also fine like this. Okay, it's one and the same. Double quotations or single quotations in Python doesn't matter. So the dictionary is very simple and easy. Okay, I shared the screen, right, all of you? Yeah. Is this clear, dear friends? Yeah. So I've typed print x plus 2, which means I've indentated a class that has already been defined as x. Okay, and I've simply added plus 2, which means whatever is x plus 2. Okay, that can be defined. And the beauty here is in Python, you need not end any of these particular programs with semicolons. Okay, this is what you can probably have a simplest fair Python dictionary, just like a normal English dictionary. Okay, whereas in Perl, everything you need to define the class, you have to define that, and all those things would really take a lot of time. Okay, and here in the same example, please be advised that, okay, I'm first giving that. Okay, and now I'm running the code. Can you see what is it I've typed? Okay, now you see, I'm also, sorry, here, space must be here. And see, I've defined small x is equal to 5, okay, which means the variables that you are trying to define are case sensitive here. In small x, I've defined an integer 5. In capital X, I've defined an integer 4.5. Y is equal to, of course, Prash. Okay, and here in the example, okay, I'm printing Y, which means Prash. Printing capital X, which is 4.5, okay, and printing x plus 2, which means 5 plus 2, that is 7. Okay. I can also do this in Python dictionary, okay, although it is case sensitive. Is this clear, dear friends, all of you? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Can I go ahead? Can you do this little homework at a later point of time?
Yes, sir. Fine.
Yeah. So now comes a very other defined objective as well. Okay. So for example, we're trying to define.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Sir, earlier you were writing in the text editor, and then you are running the command.
Right.
Now you are running the command directly on this
Right. I mean,
TMD.
I can do the same thing, so same thing here also. So for example, when I type here, okay, I can even create a file here. Okay, so for example, I'm creating a file here. Okay, say x is equal to 4. Sorry, x is equal to 4. Say print of x. Okay, and then I can save it. Here also, same thing. And I can even open the file here as well. Say I can call it as, say, example4.py. When I save it, when I open it here, ls minus l, example4.py, you see I'm viewing it here. Okay, you see?
Okay, so there is no difference as such. No
There's
difference.
I mean, I thought that many of you have not installed for the Ubuntu. It might be a bit overwhelming for you. That is the reason why I'm giving you a notepad or a text editor.
Okay. Okay.
You can use both ways. Huh? Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So let me open this particular example4.py. Okay. Now comes defining the variables. Okay, or defining classes as well. Say for example, I don't know what happened. I typed something. Yeah, 1 minute. Huh? Yeah. So x is equal to, say, y. Okay. Say equal to z equal to, say, 4. Okay. Now you see, I can have multi-classes as well like this. Okay. Now run the code. Python 3. Okay. So what was the code that we have written? Okay. So you see, sorry, it's example 4, right? Example 4. X is equal to y equals z equals 4, which means I've defined multi-class variables here, x, y, and z as 4. Okay, and I can type these particular x equals y equals z with multi-class variables as one particular prototype, and I can run the codes. Is this clear, dear friends? Okay, so you can also set it up like this, but please be advised that, so for example, you're typing like this. print, okay, something like this. See what I've done? I've simply typed, okay, x comma y comma z. Okay, this comma doesn't mean that there should be a comma between these particular instances. Okay, it's only a space here. Okay, this comma is attributing to that particular variable that is defined, x comma y comma and z. Is this clear? Okay, so you need to be very clear in Python when you're making these kind of dictionaries. Okay, so the same thing can largely be attributed to other things as well. So for example, I'm opening an example here. A equals Prash. Okay. A, that's a not y. B equals say A. Okay. Now, if I want to type what is A, okay, see, now it will tell me that my class is string. Okay, so this was the command that we have used. So it means A is Prash and B of course is also string. But let me take another example like this. So for example here, I'm using May 1st. Okay. Sorry, 1 minute. May 1st, and I'm printing say B. Okay. Okay, this is what I've given. Now I'm running the, see, which means if you're using numbers with any of these particular letters, it is still considered as a string. Okay, because you have typed what is that particular B. Okay, which means in a string you can take any number of those particular letters. Okay, and as well as including alphanumeric or whatever that you want to take up. Okay, but let's assume that you want to define it, the maturity, something like this. I'll tell you. I'm taking this as a D, something like this. Huh? Sorry, did I give something wrong? Right? Yeah, I'm sorry. This one, it should be X only. Sorry, I'm not able to type. Mm, 1 minute. It's D, not B, E. It's here. E. No, if I don't press enter, it will be jumbled up. That's the reason why I'm getting it like this. Yeah. So you see here, I'm giving what is the command I've given. I'm giving. So I've defined x equals y equals z is equal to 4. That's the original one. A is equal to Prash. This is a string. B is also a string. Okay. But I've defined another variable called e here. Okay, with an integer. It says that integer is 4. Okay. I've already done this. Okay. Now what I really want to print is print x. So when you say print x, it is 4. Okay. Print y, it is also 4. And print e, Okay, so E is already in a predefined, which means a variable with a predefined class that is integer, okay, is already defined, that is 4. Okay. So likewise, even I can give this, taking an example of say 4.5, okay, we call it as float. Okay. It's the same thing. And now you might ask me a question, Prash, what happens if you give this? Okay, so E is equal to float. I'm giving it as 4. I want to print E. Okay, let's see what has happened. So what is float? Float is a decimal, right? So since we have given that particular thing, okay, let me show you the code first. You see, E is equal to float of 4. Okay, since float is a decimal, so print of E, so I'm getting 4.0 as a number, which means this decimal is usually represented as numbers in case of the class variables. Okay, the opposite is also true. Say for example, let me press I pressed replace. Yeah, integer. Say 4.5. Okay, this time you say I'm giving integer as 4.5. You see, okay, I'm giving a wrong statement here. Okay, so this is what I've given. Any wild guess? You see, it doesn't consider the decimal value. It has only taken the integer as 4. So it has only printed the 4. Is it clear, all of you, friends?
So, sir, float is a command for including the decimal value.
Yes, float is not a command, it's a class. It's a class variable. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And then what will happen, let's assume, you might even ask some very stupid questions here as well. Okay. Okay. In a string, a string can be both numbers and this, right? So you see, what was the command that I gave? Okay. So I've defined a variable E with a class string, okay, and it is 4.5. And here, I can type anything. In brackets here, I can say that this is 4.5 or something, whatever. Okay, whatever you want, you can probably type it. Okay, but that is, that needs to be honored. So likewise, you have other classes as well, which I'll tell you, in the subsequent sections. Okay. Is this clear, dear friends? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, let's assume I write this particular program in such a way that I want, say, X. Let's say, sorry, right, huh? X, say, plus Y, plus E, say, what was that one? Plus Z, something like this. Okay. I get the value as 16.5, isn't it? So what was the command that I gave? I've given X plus Y plus E plus Z. All of them are calculated. Okay. And what if I give A also here? Any wild guess? Or A plus B as well? Yes. Any guesses? Yeah. It gives you error because A and B is not a part of the numeric system here. It is neither an integer or a float. It is only a kind of a string. Okay. So that is the reason why float and string cannot go together. Okay. For which there is another mechanism which I did. Okay. So these particular errors will result like this. Likewise, we can also employ Bodmer's rule. You know what is Bodmer's rule? Anyone? Yes, you know what is Bodmer's rule?
Yes, sir, the standard format for executing division, multiplication, and all that.
Yes. No, I'll tell you for those naive people, I'm sorry. So, no, this file is not there. I'm sorry. Huh? Let me close this. I'll open a new file. So, in a Bodmer's rule, B is brackets. Okay. O is off. D is division. M is multiplication. Okay. A is addition. S is subtraction. Okay. So now let's assume. Can someone tell me what is the value of this? How do you know? Class, can you all see the screen? Yeah.
Yes, sir. We can see, sir.
Yeah. How do I know which is what? You cannot say that you will be first being 6 minus 2 is 4, 4 of 3 is 12, 12 of 2 is 24, 24 of 2 is 48, 48 by 2 is 24, 24 plus 2 is 26. That is not the calculation. Okay. So that is reason why this Bodmer's rule plays a very important. This is a hierarchy that you need to maintain. The very first thing that you need to do is the one within the brackets. So one within the brackets is this. So what is 2 of 3 is 6. Okay. 6. Next of 6 of 2 is 8. 6 of 2 is 6 into 2. It is 12. Okay. So, and then division. 2 by 2 is 1. Okay. And 1 into 2 is 2. 2 into 12 is 24. And then addition. 24 plus 2 is 26. And 6 minus 24 is 26 is minus 20. Okay. So these Bodmer's rules also play a very important role. Okay. In Python dictionary as well. So even here also when you give this, you can also employ any kind of Bodmer's rules for your program. Is this clear, dear friends? Okay. Any questions? Yeah. So for this, I'm sorry, I needed to be a bit harsh because unless we learn the discipline, we will not be able to take it forward. Okay. So all of you, please, Goldie and others will they will help you. You please write your if you are attending today, simply type as 1. Okay. So for example, I've given 1 for Malvika. Okay. Others will probably take it in the next batch. Okay. So for example, Dheeraj is present, so I'll give 1. Okay. So all of you give your attendance as 1, okay, that you have attended today. And then you can do that later, but this is all assignments. Okay. So what you will simply need to do is maybe assignments, name of the assignment. Okay. You have to do it and please put it in your files. Okay. So create, say, different classes. Okay. And print it to std out. Std out is standard output. Okay. is, one thing that you need to do as a kind of a homework by tomorrow. Okay.
Sir, now we only know 3 different classes, right? Only on the basis of 3 different classes, str, float, and
Yes. Yes. Okay.
we have to send like from the Ubuntu file or in Notepad, sir.
Yeah. You need not send me. You just do it. Okay. I'll trust you. You have to do all these exercises as a part of your assignments. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So define 3 types of classes and std out. Create different classes and this is the same actually, but here what I meant was, I'm sorry, here 3 different types of okay, variable classes, okay, and std out. Okay. Then I'll give you one small example. Okay, you have to do it, as a part of your own exercise. How do you think that reinstantiation of Python codes would make your task easy? You have to write on your own. These 3 assignments, you please do it when we meet tomorrow, okay? And then we'll see. But as of now, please finish the attendance here. All of you type your attendance 1 or whoever is there, okay? So please do this. So what I'll do is I'll share the things that we have discussed today. Okay.
Sir, could you show border mass once again?
Yeah.
How the calculation goes?
Yeah. One. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Got it, sir.
I've shared the file in WhatsApp group as well. Okay. Also, the Smith-Goldman algorithm I wanted to share. Oh, it's already there. I'm sorry. I think I needed to share this. I'm also sharing the presentation as well. Okay. Sorry, not this. Do you want me to share the scripts as well? I think you should be able to do that, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. We'll follow that.
Yeah. I think you should be able to follow this.
Yes.
I have another 13-14 minutes for you. Okay, I have another meeting at 7 o'clock, but I can stay here if any one of you are facing problems with installation or something like that. Okay, how about others? Yeah. Is everyone installing the Ubuntu version, or how is it? I see a lot of Ubuntu faces here, but those Windows users, could you install?
Yeah, for Windows, if we install Ubuntu means we need to activate the subsystem for Linux also, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we do it now, we need to restart the system, or else if have done, it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. How about others? Everyone? Yeah, you're able to understand this and create the classes and variables. Yeah. Yeah. There are several tools that are available online actually, where you need not simply, the program will tell you even by typing whether or not from the IDE whether or not the program is good or not. But in that way, you'll not be able to learn the Python dictionary well. Okay. So I thought we should start from scratch, because by the time maybe 2 or 3 months down the line, when you look into the advanced course, you should be able to do all those particular commands, all by yourselves. Okay. Yeah. So there are no questions. I think I'll say goodbye for you all today. But I'll be here for the next 5-10 minutes if someone has some intriguing questions. By the way, I forgot. I think 1 minute. I'm sorry. I forgot the main thing. Here, I'm also creating the questions sheet. Okay. Questions. So here you can ask questions here. Say name of the person, the question, okay, and response by me. Okay. Sorry, response. That's a response by others. So some of you might be a bit shy in asking certain questions. You can use this platform in asking any questions. Okay. Yeah. I think sheet is shared here. Okay, I can do this. Very few people have probably attended. I could see some 70 people, and now I could see only 50 or 51. Is there something wrong, Goldie and Malvika? Okay. Okay, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll be here for the next 5 minutes. Those of you who want to leave, you can leave. Otherwise, you can ask some questions.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, why aren't we doing this Python coding in VL Studios or any other software?
Yeah, that is what as I told you, Parag, that's because you'll not be able to understand the, the eccentricity of the codes. You'll not be able to know or learn the art of writing the codes. Okay. If you use IDE environment, or if you use Jupyter Notebook, or if you use NumPy, or if you use some other IDE environments, okay, you can know what the program is telling you, whether or not the program itself tells you that what you are typing is wrong. But that is not the end goal of a programmer. The end goal of a programmer is to write the script inherently and understand the nitty-gritties of it. Okay, he or she has to understand what are those particular class variables that are defined. Someone like a program cannot tell you what you're going wrong. Okay, you have to understand your own self, where you're trying to do wrong. Okay, that is my way of taking up programming. Okay. Is it clear, Parag? Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
I want to share my screen for a while.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Sir, if I mean, after installation, if I'm checking, so this kind of, a remark is given by command line.
Yeah. Yeah. I think your Python must be in executable. You have to go to control panel. I don't know why you are not able to install it. Yeah, control panel. There you'll see Python that you have installed. Go to software, programs here. Programs and features. Yeah. In that you should be able to see that.
Yes, it is there.
Python here, yeah. No? Python. Double click it. Python launcher. Okay, you can also, yeah. No, it's uninstalling. Just cancel it. I think it has uninstalled already. Windows install. You have to install it again.
So I have done this process twice actually.
Oh.
Installation process.
I think Pranav is here. Pranav, would you mind helping Prash on this, please? Huh?
Sure, sir. Actually, no. While installing, there will be a prompt where it will say add the executable to the environment path. So you need to tick that one. So it will be added to your
So basically,
path so that we can execute. Yeah. But anyway, we can do it manually also. So you can minimize this one. Yeah.
Okay.
I hope it is not uninstalling. Let's find where it is installed first, because the problem with Windows is like it will install in a app location, which is
Okay.
like a hidden directory unless you
Yes.
specify the path. So
Yes.
it will be like under C drive. You have to
C
go
drive. To C drive. Okay.
C drive users. Let's see C drive in programs. It is there or not?
Okay.
Yeah. Go to program files. Yeah.
No, instead
You
of
didn't change
that
the path.
as
Yeah.
well, instead of that cache, I think what Nihal and Arpan what they've done is they've installed Ubuntu on top of
Hmm.
Windows. It's only 400 GB file, I think, MB file. You know, so you can
Okay.
totally install that. Ubuntu on Windows, 480 MB, I think, right, Nihal?
Yes, sir. You can do that also.
Yeah,
Like
So
you
for
can
that,
open.
I need. Okay. Open.
Hey, you can open
Uh,
Windows. Actually, you have to go to settings. Uh, there is two things you need to change. That you need to enable virtualization in your PC. So
okay.
then you can actually install that. One second.
Yeah, Windows subsystem for
Yeah,
Linux,
yeah.
you need to enable the option,
And then you
and you
can.
need to download that Ubuntu for Windows in the Microsoft Store itself. You can download it.
Okay. For that, I need to uninstall this already
No,
installed
not
file.
necessarily.
Not
Not
necessary.
necessary.
Don't do any disturbance for that.
Okay. So directly go to, I mean, Windows Store, and then uh, install that Ubuntu.
Yes,
Okay. I'll try that. Thank you.
and just enable the Windows subsystem for Linux option also.
How to do that?
Just a second, I'll just say you.
Actually, you have to go under Control Panel,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then I think it will be something Windows. Turn on Windows features. Yeah.
yeah, features only. Yes, that.
Mhm. Turn
Turn
Windows
Windows
features
feature.
on. Yeah.
No,
So
go back. Not this.
yeah, yeah, right,
That
right.
right. It's second one, second option.
This one.
Yes,
Yes,
correct.
Okay.
So scroll down.
go to the last. It's at the last.
This one.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then there will be another one, virtual machine platform, that also enable. Oh,
Sorry.
no problem, no problem. Let it run. Yeah. Actually, it will ask you to restart. Don't restart now. You give. Yeah.
Okay. So I need to go
Again, go back.
here again,
No, no.
and then
Go to that one. Yeah.
okay.
Virtual machine platform, that also enable. Up.
This one.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
Now, okay.
So this will ask you to restart the system.
Sure. Sure. I'll
So
restart.
after restart, and then you can go to Microsoft Store, and then maybe install a version of Ubuntu which you prefer, like
Sure.
22,
Sure.
or that's it. So that you can
Sure.
use
Sure.
similar to what sir was showing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.